Hi, my name is Stacy Turner. I'm excited for you to be joining us tonight. We are going to be talking about healthy kids, happy life. And as parents, when our kids are healthy, we are happy. And that makes such a big difference in our families to have these healthy kids. And there's a lot of obstacles that come into the way, busyness and just a ton of other things. Picky eaters, we've talked about some of those on the Facebook page. But what we're going to just be talking about tonight are solutions to those problems. What's really working from families all across the country. So super excited. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get going here. Really looking forward to just sharing what has worked for our family for the last 13 years as well. So this presentation is called One Simple Change, and really that's what started for our family. 13 years ago, we were introduced to a way to simply flood our bodies with 30 fruits and vegetables every day. I didn't know was possible. And honestly, I didn't even know the importance of it. I really didn't understand. And it wasn't until my eyes were open to the information I'm going to share with you tonight that I realized the importance, and I wanted to do all I could. And it's been just one change after another that's really moved us to the place that we are today. So let's get started here. Let's think about, what does good health mean to you? Healthy eating. I know that was I don't know, you would have asked me if we ate healthy. I thought we did because we ate green beans or we had salad when we went out to dinner, but we really were not eating healthy. And I didn't understand that until we started to eat healthy and I started to make those changes. And then I realized how far we had to go and how far we had come already just making a couple of changes. So maybe lots of energy, the vitality to really enjoy life, being fit no matter what size you are, just feeling like your muscles are strong and you've been working your body to perform everyday tasks effectively. And for me, really, it was this idea of disease prevention through nutrition. I never understood that. I knew there were foods we were not supposed to eat, but I didn't understand how they help to fight disease in our bodies when we put the right ones in. So here's the state of America's health. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will have cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 3 will have diabetes. 1 in 3 is obese. 70% of Americans are on 2 or more prescription medications, and 25% of them are children. It's just unheard of to me. 80% of U.S. teens are eating diets that put them on a clear path to heart disease. And here's our striking reality that 90% of the food eaten in America is processed. We live in a time where our children are harmed more by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And you can see that picture. That's a pretty typical picture of a child's lunch at school. Very processed, very high in dyes and colors and sugar. And we expect their little bodies to perform with that nutrition. And also, think about that. If they eat that day after day, how's that going to affect their health 10 years from now, 30 years from now, even? And what they eat does make a difference. We think of sending them to McDonald's or going by there to get them a Happy Meal is a treat, but I really call this an unhappy meal. If you look at that, it says day 1 and day 80, and you can't even tell the difference. And I know this is true. I have one in my cabinet from months ago, just as an experiment. I've done this over the years many different times. The bag that you put the hamburger and breaks down, even the plastic bag breaks down before the hamburger and the fries ever do. So if you want to do an experiment with your children, this is a very interesting one for sure. Our food should be able to rot. Bacteria should be able to eat it. And this is so highly processed. It's not a treat at all. It's really more of a trick if you think of it that way. There's definitely a better way to reward our kids than with food that really isn't food. And there's a program called Nutrition Detectives, and this is by Dr. David Katz. We're going to see a picture of him here in a minute. But there is a time and a place to buy packaged food, and there are 5 just really simple things that you can go by when you're looking at that package. First of all, don't trust the front of the cover. You have to know it's marketed to look like a health food. I remember my kids looking at it, the box of cereal, and saying, "But Mom, it says Fruit Loops," and they assumed it was colorful and it had the word fruit in it. It must be good for them. And I think sometimes even as adults we're tricked by that too. When you're looking at the ingredient list, know that the first ingredient listed is what that box is made of. It has the most of that first ingredient. So if the first ingredient is sugar, it really is. Think of it like candy. Identify the harmful ingredients like hydrogenated oil and high fructose corn syrup and try to avoid those. And really think of it, if it's got a long list of ingredients and you can't pronounce those, that means it's even further away from the original food source that it was. So a long ingredient list needs to be avoided. If you can read it and you can pronounce it and it's just a short list, that's a better choice. And then look for 2 grams of fiber or more. That usually means it comes from some sort of a plant, and it's going to be better for their bodies that way too. Dr. David Katz, this is him on the left. He says, this may be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. That's a pretty serious statement. The first generation ever. And it's not because of a famine or from some, malaria or something like that. It's because of what we're feeding them, what we're giving them in their lunch boxes and what they're eating for snacks and what we're feeding them in the drive-through. Dr. Sears says that 75% of all chronic disease is preventable, and he's known as America's pediatrician. He's a huge proponent to healthy eating with kids and helping them to get as many fruits and vegetables into their body as possible. I heard another statistic the other day that said as much as 90% of hospital visits can be avoided by living a healthier lifestyle. That's a huge statistic as well. I want those statistics on my side and on my family side versus against us. So the road to good health. I know it seems confusing and there's a lot of information out there, but let's just really break it down to something really simple. 150 doctors researched 4,500 studies on what keeps us healthy. And what the common denominator is that a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, real food that doesn't have to have a label, is what helps to prevent that disease. And let's talk about why. You've heard of oxidative stress before. It may be called free radicals. Oxidative stress is linked to poor health. So the more of that oxidation that's in your body, the higher your risk of disease is. Dr. Bruce Ames says that in each human cell, the DNA is hit about 10,000 times each day by mutagenic oxidants. That's a pretty kind of hard word to think about, but mutagenic means it's mutating our cells. He also says that every day that we don't eat enough fruits and vegetables is like having our family stand in front of an x-ray machine. Now, we know that an x-ray machine every day is not a good thing. There are, consequences to that. That's been proven. And there are also consequences that have been proven for not getting enough produce into our diets each day. And here's why. Our defense against those oxidants, those mutagenic oxidants, are fruits and vegetables. They provide the antioxidants, you've probably heard that word before, needed for healthy cell performance. Most people know that they're just not getting enough nutrients in their diet, so they tend to rely on a vitamin. I know I did that. Gave Flintstone vitamins, or I took a prenatal vitamin, just hoping that I was piecing together what I needed. And you can read this magazine that says, take this vitamin for this, and this one that says for this. And before long, you can end up with a whole handful of vitamins, just hoping you've got enough of each of the nutrients you need. But when you look at how nature works, this is a list here to your right that's page 1 of 25 that would take to list everything that's in one apple alone. So when you look at that little list of nutrients on a multivitamin compared to over 11,000 nutrients in an apple, your body knows exactly what to do with that apple. Your kids' bodies know exactly what to do with that apple. They may not know what to do with the processed and chemically reproduced nutrients that are in a vitamin. We call those synthetic isolated vitamins because they're just a piece or part taken out, reproduced chemically, and then put into a pill, where your body knows what to do with that apple. You eat that apple, and it's the synergistic effect of all of those nutrients that work together for your body to be able to get those nutrients, and for those nutrients to get to work and to fight those evil oxidants that are, wreaking havoc in your body. And here's an easy way to get your mind wrapped around how many fruits and vegetables that you're supposed to eat. Here's some statistics. We've heard 5 to 7 servings a day for children, 7 to 9 for women, and 9 to 13 for men. I don't know about you, but I find that usually moms are doing a better job getting the vegetables into their own diet than they are with the kids and their husbands. And their husbands and kids need a lot of fruits and vegetables as well. And the food pyramid that we were familiar with sometimes got confusing. And a while back, you had to go online and figure it out. And it was just not practical, but I love this now. This is choosemyplate.gov, and the USDA recommends that you fill half of your plate with fruits and vegetables at every meal, not just fruit for breakfast, but every meal, 3 times a day, half of your plate. And if you look at that plate, it's fruit, vegetables, and grains. That would be 3/4 of your plate. If it's whole grains, that would be from a plant source. If you can think of that when you're doing your meal planning, I just have something that I do is I cook more than one vegetable. So I kind of grew up there with meat, potatoes, and 1 vegetable, and I try to do 2 vegetables, a smaller portion of meat, and also serve fruit for dessert. And that's a way to get more in each time as well. And even with those recommendations and that easy plate to go by, the average American consumes less than 2 servings a day. And like I said, that's just not enough. We're not eating enough fruits and vegetables to prevent that disease that we talked about. So what do we do? What do you do when you've got picky eaters and maybe you kind of feel like this mom? She says this whole chart with her kids. Maybe you can relate to this. I know I have as well. And you're just trying to figure out how do you get them to eat these different fruits and vegetables. And we know that for kids, it takes an exposure over time. I think it's like 21 times of them tasting something new before they will accept it. For some kids, other kids, they just kind of seem to fall into healthy eating and they're okay with it. But it's something to work through with them. I've talked with moms that have just been so very frustrated that their kids are not eating anything. And yet we have found an easy way to flood their bodies with fruits and vegetables that they actually start asking for. And it's just amazing to see the difference, even over a week and a half, to where they start asking for fruits and vegetables. And then we get calls from their parents saying, hey, I can't believe she's eating a salad. So I'm excited to share with you a simple solution that we have found. Like I said, 13 years ago, we were introduced to a way to bridge that gap. And it was with one simple change that kind of became the catalyst for us to start making other healthy changes. And at first it was flooding my body with fruits, vegetables, berries in a capsule form. And then the kids had gummies, and it's those same fruits and vegetables in a gummy form, as well as the complete, which is an all plant-based smoothie mix. And you can hide all kinds of things in that smoothie, even kale, and they don't even know it's in there. So they can help you make it, and it can be a lot of fun. I put it in my sippy cup when I was, when the kids, not in my sippy cup, in my kids' sippy cup when they were little. And this is a picture here of a friend of mine, her little girl. That's not just chocolate milk that she put into the bottle. It's plant food that she put into that with plant milk, and it was something that her daughter would ask for, and she loved those little chewies, and it really did help her little body to grow. Let me just share with you what are some of the things that are in our Juice Plus Complete and in the capsules. So we have acerola cherries, alfalfa sprouts, amaranth apples, artichoke leaves, beets, bilberries, blackberries, black currant, blueberries, broccoli sprouts, cabbage, carrots, chickpeas, cocoa, Concord grapes, cranberries, dates, elderberries, ginger root, garlic, grapes, green tea, kale, millet, orange, parsley, peas, oats, papaya, peaches, pineapples, pomegranates, prunes, pumpkins, quinoa, radish sprouts, raspberries, rice, soy, spinach, spirulina, tomato, and yucca. That's a long list of things. Like, how else am I going to get this into the kids' diet? We make a smoothie in the mornings before school. They have either their capsules or their gummies as they go out the door. And I cannot tell you how much confidence this gives me and just security, knowing at least they have this in their diet, right? At least I've gotten this into them. And then all the more that we can get into their little diets the rest of the day, that's great. Now, my kids started out when they were tiny. Even I used Juice Plus as my prenatal before they were born. My son was about 14 months old when he started. Now they are 10, 12, and 14. And I'm telling you, as they get older, it is harder and harder to really monitor and control what they're eating. And you can probably hear them. They're outside my door here playing. So, it's just really exciting that we've been able to get this nutrition into their bodies for all of these years. So let's go to this next page here. Let me talk a little bit about Juice Plus, what's in the Juice Plus capsules, and also the gummies. And I'm going to ask the girls to be quiet here. Hold on one second. Girls, can you guys please be quiet? I'm on a call. Stop. Please stop. Okay. Well, that's real life with kids, right? Okay, so Juice Plus capsules and the gummies are 30 different whole foods. It has a food label. It is packed with phytonutrients. Those are plant nutrients. These are non-GMO ingredients. They're all grown and non-genetically modified, dairy-free, gluten-free. It's NSF certified, which I really like that because it's a third-party validation and it's quality assurance that what's on the bottle is in the capsules and what's in the capsules is actually on the bottle or in the gummies. That's something that's pulled off the shelf multiple times during the year. It's not just a one-time certification. So I really appreciate that. And it's also researched, and clinical research means when people take Juice Plus, this is what they find. And that's really important to me because my kids aren't a test tube. They're not a lab rat. I wanted to know what happened when people take Juice Plus, and we're going to talk about some of that research here. Juice Plus Complete is a naturally low-fat, low-sugar, low-glycemic shake mix. It's all plant-based protein, so it's a great way to get some good solid protein. We drink a shake in the morning, and it holds us till lunch. I'm hungry by lunch, but I'm not starving, and it's because it's got a great source of protein and fiber. Ancient grains and sprouts like amaranth, quinoa, millet, radish, broccoli, and alfalfa sprouts, like how else am I going to get that into their bodies? But they love it. We do either chocolate peanut butter, you can use plant milk, or even just water is what we've been using lately. And with the vanilla, we like strawberries and bananas. And because of this research that's on Juice Plus, it's really supported by thousands of doctors around the world. And they say without the research, they wouldn't even touch it. So let's look at what the research shows. Again, these are clinical studies. These are studies when people take Juice Plus, this is what they find. So we know that Juice Plus contributes to cardiovascular wellness. It supports a healthy inflammatory response. So both of those have to do with inflammation in your body, and it can show up in your arteries. It can show up even in your gums or your skins, maybe even your joints. Inflammation is kind of the buzzword now. We know that the lower that inflammation is in your body, the lower your risk of diseases as well. It supports a quality of life in ovarian cancer survivors, reduced insulin resistance in overweight boys. So even some of these studies were done on children. It supports lung health in smokers. Again, supports healthy skin and gums, better hydration, better thickness of your skin, supports immune health, really helps to balance out that immune system. So somebody may have an overactive immune system with something like lupus, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, MS, allergies, arthritis. That's where their body's overreacting. Or you may have an underactive immune system like my husband did. He had pneumonia 4 years in a row. And remember, I thought we were healthy, and I didn't even realize how sick he was until he got his health back. For me, I wasn't sick as much, but I lived for the next nap, and maybe some of you mamas can understand that. I just thought, as soon as Colin woke up, I was counting the hours until he went back to sleep, and I shouldn't have been that tired, and it was really because I was nutrient deficient. And once we got that back and started taking Juice Plus, I say I got hours back in my day that I wasn't having to take a nap. But my husband said he got his life back because he did get every office cold that came around that turned into bronchitis, and then it would turn into pneumonia. Every time we went on vacation, he was either sick going or coming. And I'm so thankful that's not even an issue for us anymore. We don't even think about those things. So we know that Juice Plus helps protect your DNA and reduces oxidative stress. Remember, that was that mutagenic oxidation that we were talking about, and it's actually absorbed by the body, very easily absorbed by the body. So if somebody has issues like IBS or Crohn's disease, those type of things where typically fruits and vegetables aggravate their intestinal health and their digestive system, they're able to take Juice Plus because it's in such tiny particles. We call that a pre-digested form. Their body's able to use those nutrients, and it's just very gentle on their body. And it's those nutrients that they need to be able to heal and to get better. So this is another program, another study. It's called the Juice Plus Children's Health Study. And this is results from 200,000 participants. And they confirm that Juice Plus is a springboard to better health, just like it was for our family. Look at the results of this. This is after 1 year, and it was parents and the children both reported these findings. 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter or prescription drugs. 60% were missing fewer days of school. 61% were eating eating more fruits and vegetables. 66% were visiting the doctor less. They're drinking more water, eating less fast food, more aware of their health, and reaping some sort of health benefit of some kind. Now, some of these, like visiting the doctor less, if I'm not having to pay a copay, if I'm not having to pay for over-the-counter or prescription drugs, and I'm not having to miss work because my child is sick, that's money back in my pocket as a parent. That's an investment in their health versus subsidizing their illness and paying for disease. Now, this is results of the children and the adults as well. They were missing less days of work because their kids were missing less days of school, and because they were not as sick as often. They were eating more fruits and vegetables. They were reaping health benefits of some kind as well. And what's cool about this study is this is a program where kids are able to get their Juice Plus for free. So Dr. Richard Du Bois, he says after looking at all of the research done on Juice Plus, he recognizes there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been shown to do all of those things in the human body. Really amazing. Like if we were to write a prescription for Juice Plus and all the benefits to it, and there are no side effects, there's not a doctor out there that won't tell you to eat more fruits and vegetables. We know we're supposed to eat more, and this is an easy way to help us do that. It's not only easy, it's affordable too. It's affordable for the whole family. Like I said, kids eat free. It's really about the same cost of a gourmet cup of coffee. We go drink Starbucks coffee, and if you pay $3 for that cup of coffee, you're doing pretty good. $1.50 a day for the fruit and vegetables. My family, we all do the fruit, vegetables, and berries. Less than $2.50, and one of the kids can get theirs for free. And $2.05 a day for a shake, like $2 a shake. That's cheaper than going through the drive-through, and it's a whole lot faster. I can make a shake in like 5 minutes. So I just wanted to give you some simple change ideas that you can do. This was a picture of a healthy snack tray that we would do with my children, and they loved it. They loved having this tray. And if we have little people over at our house for some reason, this is still how I serve healthy snacks. And you can do olives, you can do whatever type of fruits and vegetables. Obviously be careful of choking hazards, whatever healthy food options. And I don't know what it is, but something about putting it in the tray. I would put this in front of the kids, and this is how I would serve lunch many days. I would come back and it would be empty. I don't know who ate what. Maybe they all had their own things that they liked, but I knew that they were all healthy choices, and it was really a very positive experience for them to eat healthy and to make those choices with me. So this is a great way to get even picky eaters, because you can, just something about having those little trays. You can have peanut butter in one to dip their apples in, and ranch dressing. If that's how they will eat it, make your own ranch dressing a healthier version and let them eat the ranch, whatever it takes to get those veggies in. So here's some ideas even for us as moms: to eat green vegetables twice a day. That's an easy commitment, through a salad and then at dinner. Maybe it's drink a nutritious smoothie every morning, a great way to start the day. Stretch for 10 minutes a day. Sleep for 8 hours each night. Reduce dairy intake. 2 salads a day. We're doing these fun parties called salad jar parties. It's so fun, and we make salads for the whole week, and we have them prepared and don't even have to think about lunch. Eat an apple a day. 25 push-ups daily, or go to the gym 5 days a week. I work out 3 days a week, and that's enough for me to be able to fit that in. But whatever your one simple change is, adding Juice Plus is the easiest first change you can do, and then to make another change on top of that. And it's really one change after another that makes for a healthy lifestyle. And that's what we're talking about. It's not about a diet. It's not about just take these little capsules or drink this shake and you lose weight. That's not what it is. This is a lifestyle change, and you make it one change at a time, something you can stick with for the rest of your life. I wouldn't have been able to stay on a diet for 13 years, but I can choose to make healthy choices that become a lifestyle. And one of the benefits too is that we really like to connect with a group of like-minded people. We have an incredible support community on Facebook and in your local area that you can connect with. And it's other moms just like you with kids that are doing their best to get their kids to eat healthy and to make wise food choices too. These are some pictures of some friends of mine and their children. And it's just really encouraging when they send me these pictures and I see them. And I know these kids, I know their families, and I know how much it helps their health. So just really an encouragement to me, and to know it's not just my family that's able to incorporate this in. The kids ask for their gummies. They're loving the shake. They want those shakes. And to be able to get 30 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries with those gummies, and another 17 with the shake. Like I said, how else are we going to do that? This is a really simple solution to the frustrating problem that most parents feel. So, really that's what we're talking about today. We're inspiring healthy living around the world. And I thank you so much for being on here with us. I'm going to stop the sharing and stop the recording. And again, just thank you so much for being on. If you've got any questions, we'd love to answer them. We'd love to help you get started with Juice Plus and just connect you with the resources that are here to help support you as parents in making healthier choices for your whole family. Thank you.